Go ahead. Make my day.
Hey guys, once again, welcome to this week's Nerdy Harry podcast. I'm Joey.
And I'm Anthony.
Now, you guys buckle up because this week's show is going to be a wild ride. Topics for this week are Suicide Squad, Pokemon Go, whatever this is. I'm not sure.
You kids and your games.
Yeah, I mean, get off my lawn. Star Trek Beyond, and Batman the Killing Joke. And
Joey's favorite topic.
Ghostbusters reboot opens this weekend. Anyway, all right, let's get started. How you doing, by the way, Anthony, before we get started?
I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I'm looking forward to tonight's pod. It's been a couple weeks since we've had the chance to do this, but as always, thanks for coming over and working with me on this. And I always love doing these, man. And I'm also I'm proud of how we've continued to. I know it's been difficult sometimes, but keeping the Facebook page thing going and how so I appreciate what you do on that as well. So let's rock and roll.
Man. All right, man. So Suicide Squad, and I'm not going to talk much about that tonight. We still got about a month for that opens. I think it's like August 9th or something of that nature. I don't know the exact date, but we're starting to see a lot more on TV now about it, and on the airwaves, and they were on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, which I did get the good cover with the Joker and Harley Quinn.
It's awesome.
So that is really awesome. And like I said, that's really got me excited seeing him like that. That's the Joker. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He looks awesome in that picture.
Yeah.
I still can't get past the tattoos. I'm looking at it right now. You brought your magazine over. I'm looking at it right now, and it's just tattoos.
That's the only thing, but I get it. It's a new age and it's a new time, and hey, I'm willing to see what they do with it. But anyway, let me ask you this: are you more excited now about the movie, or are you about the same as far as anticipating the movie as you were?
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I love the Joker, and I'm excited to see what Jared Leto is going to do with it, and I'm also excited to see what Margot Robbie's going to do with Harley Quinn. I think the movie's going to be really good. I'm not too excited about Will Smith as a Deadshot, right?
Deadshot.
And but because I'm just not really a Will Smith fan. Anyways, but overall though, I'm excited for the movie. And as far as your question about the movie and Jared Leto's Joker, I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna hit on one thing real quick here. I'm excited to see the dynamic Batman has in this movie. I know he's gonna be in this more than what we think. I'd almost bet that he's in this for 15-20 minutes at some point, which is a lot. If you really stop and think about it. I mean, especially in the past when, like, in The Dark Knight Rises, you only see Batman for like 18 minutes, and it's a Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a Batman movie. This is something totally different. Also, another thing I've read, too, it's just a rumor, but I think it'd be really cool if it were true. Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood, that dashing, good-looking man who's been like a GQ model or something. I don't know, Abercrombie & Fitch model. Yeah. He's got a pretty prominent role in this, I guess, and it's sort of been shrouded in mystery. One of the rumors is that he's actually playing Dick Grayson.
Really?
Yes.
I've not
and
heard
that he's basically Nightwing, and Bruce has sent him in to sort of see what's going on with this secret government Task Force X project.
Wow, if they do that, that would take the movie to another level for me on excitement as far as a surprise as well.
Absolutely, because if you think about it, Eastwood's in his mid to late 20s.
Somebody needs to do Nightwing Grayson right. Nobody's done it yet.
I think this is a great opportunity for somebody like a young actor like Eastwood who's trying to get he's really trying to get a foothold in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Here's his chance.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he may just be playing some nobody, and he's still the same.
You never know with these movies, because we thought we were going to see Hal Jordan possibly in Batman versus Superman.
Negative.
Yeah, and as far as Batman in this movie, I wouldn't be surprised if you're right. I think we are going to see Batman. I don't know if he's going to have that much prominence in it, but I think, um, they realize how much people liked Ben Affleck as Batman, and so a lot of the reshoots they did, it wouldn't be surprise me that if Ben Affleck were a part of that, was a part of that as well.
At least Bruce Wayne / Batman.
Yep.
In some capacity.
Yep, very true.
All right, well, let's move on now. So, man, you told me earlier tonight that you've bought into this, or at least you did for a couple days. Pokemon Go. Now, of course, I was beyond that age. I never
me
played
too.
Pokemon. I know you were too.
Yeah, I'm older than you, so.
But it's all over the news. I mean, I've heard good things. People are enjoying it. They'd like to get out in the community and do things. But I also heard bad things, too. I mean, I don't really understand. And I'm one of these people that likes to understand things. But right now, I just don't understand what the craze is about this Pokemon Go thing. Places around the country are already banning people. Local businesses. Even I read today, the mayor here in Cookeville, Tennessee, Ricky Shelton, posted on his Facebook page that you are not allowed to play at Cookeville Regional Medical Center. You are banned from playing Pokemon Go because the Pokemon Go app says that it's a gym, and I don't know what that means, but I guess like you can go there and get stuff for the game. So yeah, they're gonna have to post signs in the hospital saying you're not allowed to play this game here. If you are, you're gonna be escorted out.
That's interesting. Can they do that? I mean,
absolutely they can.
In a parking lot, even you can go. Hey,
they said that they are going to consider putting up 2 stations on each side of the hospital for you to be able to go to do that. But they don't want you taking up. They said we have limited parking. It's for our patients. It's for our visitors. It's not for game players, which is understandable.
Yeah, no, I mean I get that. I understand the whole not being in their way, because there's some serious things going on there, obviously, with them taking care of patients and yada yada. But all right, so as far as the game's concerned, I don't know that I agree with him doing that. I get it. I understand why they're doing it.
Well, I think that was the board of the hospital board.
Yeah,
he's just the mayor.
Yeah, I get it, and
which I was a part of, by the way.
Yeah. So as far as the Pokemon game, I downloaded it the other day. My cousin, husband John Mauser, mentioned it to me, and I was like, dude, don't even. I was like, I'm beyond the age group for wanting to play this, and so he's like, no, you got to see it, and so he showed me it on his game or on his phone or whatever, and it looked. I got to admit, I was a little intrigued by it, so I downloaded it on my phone. And I was like, yeah, okay, it's okay, But then I was like, okay, I'm good, never playing it again. But then it dawned on me afterwards, like, this would be a good opportunity for me and the boys and Nicole to all hang out and go do this. Because basically what it is like a geocaching game where you have to go to these locations to try to get these things.
Yeah.
And so I downloaded the game, and it was fun. For a few minutes, I guess. We were going around Cookeville getting these Pokemon and whatever, and Modus Boy especially enjoyed it. But man, the thing kept crashing, and that's the biggest issue with it right now is it keeps crashing because I mean
there's just a lot of traffic on.
Yeah, there's so much going on right now with it. So I went ahead and uninstalled it. I was just getting so aggravated. We were all getting aggravated with it. I was like, okay, that's enough. If it's losing the fun, then let's just go ahead and delete it. But now, as far as the local businesses and stuff, I mean, I guess the hospital, I guess I can understand that. But now, to me, like if I'm a restaurant or something, I'm all for it. Like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, most restaurants are saying Pokemon is only for paying customers.
That's crazy, man.
I mean, what the heck, man? You have to put that up.
I know.
I'm waiting for people to come to my store and say, "Oh, we're just playing Pokemon." I'm like, no, you're not.
Why don't you lay down on this bed while you play Pokemon?
By the way, would you like a Tempur-Pedic?
How's your back? But yeah, that's pretty wild, man. Just over a game.
Yeah, well, like I said, I wasn't in the Pokemon. I don't know the Pikachu, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, and they're actually even talking about because of excitement of the game. They're actually talking about the early stages of a Pokemon movie.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They are talking about doing a movie. So I mean,
this is the world we live in today, though, where it just takes one little app. And boom, you're talking about movies. You're talking about banning people from going places.
How long has this been out?
A week and a half. Or no, a week, actually. I think it started last Wednesday. But, the bad to this is, though, that apparently now people are getting mugged and robbed for
And
this?
also, predators are trying to lure children in
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
so they can snatch them, things of that nature too.
That's wild. Well, no offense. Like, if you're a kid, you shouldn't be doing this by yourself, anyways. Your parents should be with you. But come on, I guess it's just how it is. All right, kids, get off my porch. Sorry, I sound like that again.
That's right. All right, moving on. There, we're doing Pokemon. That was longer than I thought we'd talk about it. All right, so
Star Trek, whatever.
Yeah, Star Trek, whatever. All right, no, guys, we've talked about Star Trek Beyond before, but it was in the infancy stages of being, really out there in the public as far as trailers and descriptions, and now it's more at the forefront. It comes out in a week and a half, on the 22nd.
It's awesome. Can't wait.
But here's the big news, and I'm sure that if you're a fan of this genre, if you're a fan of Star Trek, you may have already seen this, but the big news is that they've decided to make Sulu, who is the helmsman, Lieutenant Sulu, he's a gay man, and he is married to a man and he has a daughter. In the Abrams verse, as they like to call it, there's the Roddenberry verse, and then there's the Abrams verse, or the alternate timeline. My question for you, Anthony, and I'm gonna say a couple things real quick here, then I'll let you speak. Is this necessary? And what are your general thoughts about it? And what I mean by that is I'm not asking about your personal feelings. We're going to leave that aside. I'm not going to talk about mine either. Just your general thoughts. Is this a necessary thing, or do you feel it's like it's reaching a little bit?
Okay, so I got two things of thought on this. First is I get why they have the character in there. That I don't have a problem with. Like, I get having the gay character there. This is the world we live in. This is real life. Okay,
exactly, yeah.
So that I don't have a problem with. Now this is where I'm on the other side of the fence with George Takei here.
Yeah.
This is a character that's already been established. This is Gene Roddenberry's character.
Yeah, and I mean, I was going to mention that in just a minute, but since you're already there, he's against this, guys. I mean, George Takei, who actually plays Sulu in the old version, the original series and in the movies. I mean, and he was great as Sulu, even as Captain Sulu at the end. I mean, it was great to see him in that role. He's totally against it, and he says it's because it's not Roddenberry's vision. Mm-hmm. Gene did not make that character gay, hence why would you make that character gay now?
And what was interesting is they talked about it. Like, Gene and George actually talked about
exactly,
that
because everybody knew that Takei was gay.
Yeah, and
I mean,
and I like,
at least on the set is what.
Yeah, and I like how George and Gene had a mutual understanding between each other that Gene wasn't saying, look, I'm not going to do this because it was bad. Gene's just saying, I can't do this. Okay, I'm not going to be allowed to do this, is what I understood from George.
Sure.
And George understood that. George understood that, look, they were already catching heat when, Kirk. Kirk and
Uhura kiss.
Yeah,
the
kiss.
first interracial kiss.
I mean, the South was actually banning this show, so can you imagine if they had went there? Back then, and so like I said, I'm on two schools of thoughts on it. I don't mind Simon Pegg and Abrams and them going this way with a character, but I just think that's just my opinion. I just don't think why you got to do Sulu.
Supposedly, well, this is why. I mean, Simon Pegg says that he thinks George Takei is going overboard on this matter.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because what his point is that. And by the way, it doesn't really bother me either way either. I mean, I don't really see why they need to do it, but I'm not upset or offended by it either. Basically because I have read this, it's not really forced on you as a viewer when you go watch the movie. It's just a little snippet when they're, on their R&R trip, and you get to see his family for a minute or two, and then that's the end of it, basically. And then it goes back to the regular movie. But that being said, it wouldn't matter to me if they showed 15 minutes of them together. I don't care about that. What I care about is just
what do you mean? And when you say you don't care about it, what you mean is like it doesn't bother if you see it or not.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, I do care about things, but what I mean is that you're exactly right. It just does not bother me.
Right. Exactly. I wanted to clear that up.
Yeah.
So.
But that being said, I mean, it was never Roddenberry's vision to have Sulu as a gay man, and Pegg is just saying, well, it's just an homage to Takei. I don't know why he's so upset. And George Takei's like, it's not for me. I wasn't, my personal life had nothing to do with the character. So why is it homage to me? I don't need that.
And here's what's interesting to me is that Peg talked to him about this before, and George expressed his dislike for the idea, and they still went along with it.
And they still
even
did.
though they're doing it in tribute for George. And I'm thinking that if I talk to this all-time great character, the guy who played him, and he says, no, I'm not. I don't know that I feel comfortable with that.
Well, I mean, from what I've read, George basically told him, just invent a new character.
Yeah, and
You've already got 2 or 3 new characters in this movie anyway. Just let it be some new officer that you bring on board. It's no big deal.
yeah,
You know, it's not like the movies never had new officers.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, the movies had new officers that were characters. I mean, there were women, because that was a big thing, having women as officers. I mean,
Yeah.
Aurora was really the only one,
yeah,
you know, for the most part. And then when you get into the 80s in the movies, then you start seeing new officers, you know.
right.
So, I mean, anyway, I mean, yeah, it is controversial. I think once the movie gets here and we find out whether it's actually good or bad, because there's really nothing that's been said about it yet. I don't know how good the movie is.
Yeah,
It's been under wraps, just like anything that has J.J. Abrams involved at all, and all he is just an executive producer, but very secretive. But, you know, I'm still excited about it. I'm looking
Definitely.
forward to it more now.
definitely.
And just to keep on Star Trek, just because, well, that's just the big thing that's getting ready to happen. Like I was just saying, I am excited for this. I'm more excited now than I have been up to this point. I love that Idris Elba's character, who is going to be the villain Krall, is part of an alien species we've never seen before. He's an entirely new character, which I think is really cool.
Which, by the way, he's one of the most underrated actors
Absolutely.
in
I mean,
Hollywood. This guy, he should be James Bond. I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't care about
you know, the more I thought about it, yeah, I would be okay if they went down that road. He probably won't be. I think it'll be Tom Hiddleston, but I think it'll be all right. And now Daniel Craig is starting to backtrack too, saying, speaking on the Bond thing, oh, wait a second, I didn't say I wouldn't be James Bond.
It's because the electric bill's coming in now. And he's going,
Exactly.
okay.
He wants that $15 million.
But go ahead. I didn't mean to.
No, it's all right.
Like,
No, I think that's good to throw that in there because I do think that he would be okay as James Bond. But anyway, he's supposed to be a very deep and conflicted character. Basically, what that means is that, you know, his race of people, for whatever reason, feel that the Federation is being almost like imperialistic in a way, you know, wanting to colonize everybody and change them to how. It does make a political statement in this movie, in a sense, which is okay as long as it's not over dramatized. They're just talking about something that happened with America and then with the European countries like England and France and Spain.
and you can do that with Star Trek because Roddenberry did that with Star Trek.
Exactly. It was a political statement in the first place.
Yeah.
The whole show was like that. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing, and I'm going to probably butcher her name, but she's got a different name, but her name is Sophia Boutella.
Sounds right.
I believe that's right. Her character's name is Jayla. And Jayla is supposedly, from what I've read, a very welcome addition to this story. And she steals a lot of the scenes that she's in. Of course, it's looking like she's just going to be a one-movie wonder, as they say. It's just going to be this one role. You know, she's not going to be a recurring character in future movies, which they will make.
Mhm.
This movie will make money, and they will make a fourth one.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool, too. I hope they keep doing it, because I know that Pine and both Quinto are both on board. So if you got Kirk and Spock, you can keep doing it, baby.
This is a big movie, though, for them because they need this to succeed.
And it's the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, and you just need that momentum going into the future for Star Trek.
Absolutely.
I felt like I loved 1 and 2 with Pine and Quinto, but they need to keep the momentum going here or they're going to lose because it's not like we have a show to continue on in the background like we had with Star Trek, the Next Generation.
I mean,
stuff.
next year you do have the new Star Trek web
That's true.
series from
That's
CBS.
true. Yep,
But how much is that going to actually be watched? Because you have to pay to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, you have to get the CBS app for
And-
$6 a month.
And that's why you need this movie to be good to make people want to pay and watch it.
Exactly. You know, yeah, like I said, she's supposed to be really good in this movie. I think she shares the screen a lot with Scotty, actually, which is kind of interesting. But I'm sure that there's going to be a dynamic with her and Kirk. Not a love dynamic, though, from what I've seen. It's not anything like that, a romantic thing. She's actually going to be like a hero in this, which is cool. You know, I mean, it's a female who's going to probably end up helping save the day.
That's cool. I hope Peg doesn't put himself front and center, though, now that he's kind of running it.
I don't think he does.
I hope not,
No.
but, it's just, we'll see.
And just a couple of things about the movie from the trailers I've seen, and I haven't really read any spoilers because there's no spoilers to read, but I have read like trailer breakdowns and people pointing out little Easter eggs and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to the Space Station Yorktown. That looks amazing from what little we've seen. It's just giant. It's got its own atmosphere.
Oh wow.
I mean, they got cities and stuff there. I mean, this is where they go do their R&R before, probably at the very first of the movie. And also, if you don't realize this, you're going to see an NX class starship called the Franklin. Now, if you're not familiar with what an NX class is, that was the very first class of starships that they had. Basically, if you watch the show Enterprise, that was the NX-01 Enterprise. It was the very first deep space warp capable craft that the Federation built. It was the NX-01.
Your nerd is showing right now.
Oh, I know, man, but I love it.
No, that's cool, man.
And they find this starship, and I assume that they find it and they use it to escape from, well, and like I said, this is going to be a spoiler, maybe just a little bit, but I've just figured this out from watching it. The Enterprise is not going to make it out of this movie alive.
Oh, what the?
Yeah, I mean, if you watch it, that's all they've been showing is the Enterprise crashing and getting torn to shreds by Krall's little, whatever they are that they've destroyed the ship with. I don't even know what they are, like little pods or something that just come and tear through the ship. But like I'm going to say, fear not. I know that this won't be the last ship to carry the name Enterprise. I kind of pull that away from Star Trek 3, I think, because at the end of that movie, this is the William Shatner, at the end of it, he's been demoted from admiral back down to captain, which is actually a good thing. And I know they're going to assign the crew to a new starship, and they're like, well, wonder what they're going to give us, a little frigate or something like that. And they're like, yeah, I just can't believe the Enterprise is gone. It's like, well, I'm not sure. I'm sure this won't be the last ship that'll have the name Enterprise. And then they come up over the horizon into the star dock, the star base, and boom, there's the new Enterprise 1701A.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was the new Enterprise, and I thought that was really cool. They just took another, class, whatever, I can't remember what the heck they were called back then, but
you should be ashamed of yourself.
I know it. They had a certain class that they were called, that type of starship. But anyway, they put Enterprise on it. So I take that away from that. There'll be more Enterprises, but it is cool that we're going to see an NX class starship in this too, I think. Which, like I said, people are a lot more nerdier than me. You actually zoomed in on the pictures of it and saw Franklin, on it. So they figured out what the name of it was.
If there's people that will enhance the audio on Game of Thrones to hear Jon Snow's real name, then I'm sure there's people.
Oh, yeah. Because like I said, remember, you had the NCC 1701, the 1701A, the B, the C, the D, and the E. So, I mean, there's plenty of letters in the alphabet to keep going. Anyway, remember, guys, though, that's all I'm going to talk about this tonight. You got anything to add about Star Trek?
When does it open?
July the 22nd. I bet it comes out, though, next Thursday on the 21st here in Cookeville. So I'm going to look into maybe going and watching it next Thursday night, possibly. But I don't know yet.
I'll say this. I've always been more of a Star Trek: The Next Generation fan, but Pine and Quinto alone have got me, they've got me to watching the original series again. So yeah, I mean, so far I love the movies, and I think this one's going to be good too. The only problem is they're just overshadowed with superhero movies right now. They're that little bitty rose in the middle of the thicket of superhero movies.
I mean, sci-fi's not as cool as it used to be.
And so but this is big for them, and hopefully it pays off in the theater. Me personally, I think it's going to do horrible in the theater. I just think people aren't into that. I hope they are. I'm not saying I want it to do bad. I'm just saying you can see what's going on at the movies right now, and people want family, Disney things, and they want superhero movies, and nothing else is doing good that I'm seeing. But I could be wrong.
You're right. We'll see. But like I said, anyway, July 22nd. Go watch it, guys, if you're into that type of thing. I know not everybody is. And,
we are. That's all that matters. So
that's right. We are. That's all that matters. And hey, let us know. Let us know what you think about it on our Facebook page. Mm-hmm. Next up, this is something that surprisingly we both are really excited for. And I say surprisingly because normally I'm not that excited about animated cartoons and the movies, but this is something I'm looking forward to because Batman: The Killing Joke, quite possibly one of the greatest Batman DC titles of all time, is coming to a movie theater near you, which means here in Cookeville, Tennessee. For those of you who are near here, believe it or not, Cookeville is getting this one day and one day only, Monday, July the 25th. So basically, in about a week and a half.
Ooh, 3 days after Star Trek.
3 days after Star Trek. How awesome is this going to be? And yes, just to let you know real quick before we get going into this, it is R-rated, just like the comic book. So keep the little kiddies at home. And if you can't take cussing or anything like that, bring your earmuffs. But it is going to be R-rated, and it's going to be true to form, they say, to how the comic was. It's going to be gruesome in some aspects. If you know the story, you'll know that why it would be gruesome. Also, there's going to be some type of introduction by Mark Hamill, who voices the Joker. And yes, that Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker.
What? No.
Yeah. He's probably actually more famous, believe it or not, now for being the Joker than he is for being Luke Skywalker.
Well, you think about people that have grown up,
listening,
you know,
watching
in the
animated
90s
series
and
and the video games. I mean, he's
You're
been
like, Luke Skywalker. Who's Luke Skywalker?
Yeah.
I know him as the Joker.
I know who Anakin Skywalker. I know who Annie Skywalker
Oh,
is.
gosh.
You know, I mean,
Don't go there.
but anyway, go. What do you think?
Really excited for it. Definitely going to it. We talked about getting tickets for it, so hopefully we can both attend that. You got to see it, man. Kevin Conroy, Mark Hamill. That's all you need to say. I mean, even if it's not the Killing Joke, if DC's put this much into it, I'm okay, because I love anytime Kevin Conroy and Hamill can get together to do the Batman and Joker. I'm in for it. And for the being a one night thing, and Mark Hamill's doing an introduction at the beginning, that'll be awesome. I love stuff like this. This is stuff that you can look back on, 10 years from now and go, oh yeah, I went and seen that in theater. And I know the kicker is the next day it's going to be on DVD or something like that.
But I don't care. It's the experience.
I know, exactly.
Hey,
Right.
you don't sell the steak, baby. You sell the sizzle.
Joey's gone into advertising for
I'm going. That's Kramer, by the way.
I know. That's great.
All right. So anyway, all right now let's go on to one last topic that unfortunately we have to get to, because I told myself I would go ahead and get this out of the way so that hopefully next time we talk about it, I can laugh. Lastly, and unfortunately leastly.
Hold on, wait. Take a drink of your haterade.
No, I'm going to be nice. I've tried to avoid it, but I'm going to man up, man. Let's discuss the Ghostbusters reboot. Okay. And yes, I'm calling it the Ghostbusters reboot. I cannot just call it Ghostbusters. I just can't do it. Believe it or not, reviews aren't terrible. I mean, they're not necessarily just great for it either. I mean, you're getting like a C+, which is not terrible for something of this magnitude, in my opinion.
Well, apparently Batman vs Superman will take a C+.
Exactly. And I thought that was pretty doggone good. So, I mean,
it
had its moments. We both agreed with that. It had its moments where they could have done better.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I mean, it's got like a C+ by most sides. And supposedly it's actually a pretty funny movie that evokes some of the nostalgia of the originals. But it's also been said that it seems like it tries way too hard to be funny and breaks away from the casual and, the smart humor of the originals. That's what made them great. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. The originals, it was a comedy, but it was a sci-fi action movie that had funny parts in it, because you had 4 really funny guys in the roles. But it's not entirely funny the whole movie, and they didn't force the humor on you, because you have such brilliance in each of those roles.
Yeah, well, in part 2 they forced humor, but part 1...
I'm talking about the first one, because I mean, believe it or not, I'm not a huge fan of Ghostbusters 2, just like most people aren't. It's not terrible, and maybe this movie will fall into that Ghostbusters 2 category for me, if and when one day I do watch it. Now, I can promise you that old Joe Henry, right here, will not pay money to go watch this movie in the theater. Absolutely not. I mean, and I told Eric Mason today, and I meant it. Actually, I told everybody, but I wouldn't go watch it in the theater and waste 2 hours of my time if the tickets were free. That's how I feel about this movie. And it has nothing to do with women.
Ouch.
It's sacrilegious to me in a sense that they've taken a classic movie and rebooted it. And it's like, why? Imagine Back to the Future being rebooted. I can't do it. I don't even want to do it. And I know it's coming. If Zemeckis dies, if Bob Gale dies, oh gosh, what is Universal going to do? They're going to reboot it first thing. I know they will.
Yeah, and it's just... okay, so my thought on this is that I'll watch it probably at some point when it gets out on DVD. I'm not going to go to the theater and watch it just because I know movies. I'm old enough now to understand how movies are. They're gonna force the humor, and I got yeah, it was sci-fi on the original. I think I would probably put it more into the supernatural comedy, supernatural thriller comedy,
Yeah, there you go.
because I remember. All right, I'll tell you my wuss story here. When my mom took my brother and I to go see Ghostbusters 1 in theater, after the first scene where they go to the library, yeah, I was out. I was like, let's go. That's it. I'm not. I can't.
I can't watch
I
it
can't watch
because it
this.
looks so real.
Yeah, man. I mean,
it looks.
that was. I wasn't expecting that, man. I was expecting a comedy, and then when I went in there, and I was like, oh crap.
I'm 36 years old, man, almost, and I still get that little bit of hair stand up on the back of your neck when you watch that scene
Yeah,
because of the music.
yeah.
I'll
tell you,
the cards flying out of the shelves and I mean, that's just it's perfect.
Right. I've read the reviews on it as well. You posted an article on our Facebook page the other day. I think it might have been yesterday or the day before, where someone talked about 5 reasons to like it and 5
It was
reasons
today,
to not
actually,
like.
yeah.
Oh, was it today? Okay. And I thought it made some interesting points.
Yeah, me too.
That it, they misused all the old characters.
What the heck?
I mean,
yeah. Which spoiler alert? Yes, the Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and Ernie Hudson are in the movie.
Sigourney Weaver.
And yeah, I forgot about her. Yeah, that's right. Sigourney Weaver's in it as
Yep.
well. They're all in the movie in some capacity, but they're just in the movie.
Yeah, I've heard they really misuse Bill Murray too. Like, how do you use the best character out of all of them? But like I said, look, I'm not. I understand why you hate it so much, because this is like, I felt the same way. You're gonna laugh at me for this. I felt the same way about Point Break. Point Break's one of my favorite action movies
I get it
of all
though.
time.
I get it. Though.
Why do you gotta do that? I mean,
I don't know.
And so,
of course, it tanked and bombed like the crap.
thank
it was.
goodness, proving my point. And so, but no, you're right. And they're gonna do the same thing with Back to the Future someday. And I don't know. I'll watch it when it comes out on DVD. I'm sure we'll watch it. But
Well, I mean, like I was going to pick up on what you just brought up about the cameos, but Kate McKinnon, who is playing the Egon character, I guess in this, she's the blonde from Saturday Night Live that's wearing the goggles. Supposedly she's like the scene stealer of the whole movie. She's actually really good in this.
I've heard mixed on her too, though. I've heard some people say that she's awkward in the movie. Not awkward like Egon.
Twitchy is the word I've seen.
Oh, okay. I've just heard it just
weird.
Yeah.
She's just weird. Yeah.
But I mean, that's good. They're just ecstatic. I mean, look, I don't want her coming there acting like Egon.
No, I don't either.
But but hey, man, look, we'll see. We'll see how it does. I think it's probably it'll win #1 this weekend. Because the dog movie just beat Finding Dory this week, or the Pets movie.
I'm not a betting man, but I'd be willing to bet that the Secret Life of Pets beats it.
I don't think so. I think Ghostbusters will get #1.
It might.
I could be wrong.
I don't know. But anyway, we'll see. I'm just hoping it does. But
Haterade,
baby. Also, just to finish up on that, Chris Hemsworth's character supposedly is pretty funny. He plays a ditzy male model secretary. Which, whatever. That's cool. He's good at those little side roles like this where he just takes on a really crazy, funny, sort of unexpected character.
You watch and see. He won't be. I'm going to make my prediction now, and you guys are probably really mad that I say this. I've got a prediction that he'll end up being the bad guy.
I could see that possibly.
Because he's not going to come in there and do that small little role for the 2 movies in a row.
Yeah.
This is the only movie you're going to see him in.
That's funny you say that, because I don't know how the movie is. I obviously haven't read it. Because there's nothing out there to read. Because I've actually been looking.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what it's about. I know there's a villain named so-and-so who's like a computer geek or something.
Well, I should say that you're right, because I do know he's not the main villain. There is a main villain.
But he might be with it.
Yeah, he might be with it. True.
But anyway, supposedly he does a pretty good job in the movie. One question: should it have been a reboot? Okay. Or, in my opinion, I'm going to ask you this too, should it just been a sequel introducing a new team? Like that was the original plan from Dan Aykroyd from the beginning. Because, guys, he's the guy who holds all the cards, is Aykroyd. That's his baby.
Yeah, that's right. Him and Ramis wrote it, right?
That's exactly right. But guess who's not alive anymore?
Right, exactly. I don't know. It's hard for me to make that. It's hard for me to make that opinion on something if Aykroyd allows it, man. Look, unless That's the only thing scared me. Is like, you got to wonder now, this day and age, are people allowing you to use their stuff because they need to pay bills? Or are they doing it because they trust your vision? You know what I mean?
This is my opinion on that, and I see exactly where you're going with that. I agree with that too. This is my opinion. Until Harold Ramis died a couple years ago, Dan Aykroyd fought tooth and nail against this.
Really?
What's going on? No, we're going to get Bill. We'll get Bill in the movie. Somehow we'll get Bill.
Yeah,
Okay?
that's right. They were going to do a movie together.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. That's true.
We've got the story. We
I
just
do
got to get
remember
Bill to
reading
agree.
about that.
Bill just is weird. He only does stuff on his own terms and his own timetable. We'll get Bill. He may not be as big of a character in this one, but we're going to get him. Okay, if we can promise him 3 weeks of shooting, he'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're going to do all your scenes at once, and you can just go back to your home in South Carolina and do whatever. If you want to know where Bill Murray lives, it's in South Carolina.
That's weird that you know that.
Well, I read an article about him one time, and he was actually on PBS, Charlie Rose, and he lives in South Carolina.
Wow, cool.
He lives there with his wife and their little kid.
Wow.
Yeah, no joke. They have like a little baby, little girl, and he wanted to live in a small
A
town.
sarcastic little baby.
Yeah, sarcastic little baby. I think I would have rather them done just a sequel like Ghostbusters 3. They don't have to be their daughters, and I don't care that it's women. I mean, it could be acquaintances. It could be students at the college they're teaching at, because they're all professors. It could be maybe a niece or nephew, or it could be daughters, whatever. It could be a mixture of all that. And they put them together, and they're still the Ghostbusters, the original guys are, but hey, we're 70 years old, so you guys take over, and then you could still have the same movie that you have right now, but it wouldn't feel like such a betrayal, because this is what I mean by betrayal. Paul Feig, who is the director, screamed and screamed, I'm not going to do a sequel. I'm going to create something totally new. But yet it seems like when you see the trailers and what people have said who've seen the movie, because now people are starting to get to watch it in premieres, he went out of his way to have all this nostalgia from the originals in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, why? I mean, even the whole villain at the end looks like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I mean, the whole movie looks the same almost.
Yeah.
You know? So, I mean, why did you go to that extent to do a quote-unquote reboot when you really just remade the original?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, kiss my you-know-what, Paul Feig. You copped out. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder where all the backlash comes from. I think with your situation, I agree with your backlash, because it's a classic. It's something that doesn't need to be touched. And if you're going to do it as a sequel. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
then
continue on.
Then go.
Then you know, yeah. But to make your own and say, well, you know, this is Paul Feig's Ghostbusters, even though it's really Dan Aykroyd's Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
There's a problem there, because there you're showing, okay.
And that's fact.
Yeah.
This is fact now that more stuff's come out. Okay, so it's not me just making something up.
And look, let's just say right here, Paul Feig probably has more creative talent in his little finger than we do, and both of us
absolutely
combined. But I think, you know, if you take on something like this, then you got to be prepared to accept that there's going to be criticisms of it, especially if you make it like the original.
Exactly. When you said you weren't going to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When you just basically said, what I'm going to do is pull 4 guys out and put 4 girls in, and then we'll just basically kind of have the same kind of storyline, because that's what it's looking
just
like.
set in 2016.
Yeah. And my biggest problem with it is, my personal biggest problem is, I hate the way the character, I mean, not the characters, but like the ghosts look. It looks like, you know, like we've got the boys, so we've seen like the Scooby-Doo movies with Matthew Lillard.
The Haunted Mansion with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, it looks like that. I'm like, this is nothing new to me. And what was so great about Ghostbusters is, like, wow, that looks real,
terrifying.
man. Yeah, it's pretty scary. And so, like, these monsters are silly to me, and they look like something out of the Scooby-Doo movies. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, and I totally agree, because I mean, with today's technology and CGI, they could make some really gruesome
and you don't even have
spirits.
and you don't even have to use CGI. Go on another direction with it and use like real kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to use CGI.
You know, we said earlier Ghostbusters 2, and let's go ahead and finish up on this, and I'll say something, and you can finish up on if you have any opinion on it. Ghostbusters 2 wasn't that great.
No, I didn't think so.
But one of the scariest points of the whole movie had a lot of practical effects, and that's when they're down in the old subway tunnel, and all of a sudden the dead bodies start popping up around them. You remember that? How that was like, whoa,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And then the train hits them.
Well, and also the Statue of Liberty thing was really cool. That wasn't CGI as
That
far as
wasn't,
them
no.
and they were in this giant thing that that was on a set. So
and then
that,
they would do that when they're in the head, and then they actually had somebody dressed up like Statue of Liberty walking, just like they did the Stay Puft guy. There was a dude in the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on a miniature set, and they filmed it, and it looked realistic.
let's just remember this podcast, because who knows, Joey may come back and a year from now and go, dude, I just watched Ghostbusters reboot. No, excuse me, I wouldn't even say Ghostbusters reboot. A Ghostbusters classic. That movie was amazing, and I'd almost go as far as to say, because I can feel you almost punching me right now by looking at me. I'd almost go as far as to say, Anthony, is that it might be superior to the original Ghostbusters.
Oh, there you go.
I can feel you. I laser eyes, man.
Well, that's never going to happen. All right, man. So anyway, we'll stop on that. All right, Anthony, you got anything you want to add tonight? And I did think of one thing I'm going to say, but go ahead first. Just the quick thing I've got left.
Wow, good question. I don't know. I don't think so. If you guys could, just thank you guys so much for your support. Look, we don't have any idea how many people listen to this. It could be 2, it could, because that's me and Joey, and it could be 10, 15, 20. I mean, we do see on YouTube where it actually has quite a few views on some of them. So that's always like really encouraging to us. But feedback is big for us, guys. And let us know what you think, not just about the pod, but about the articles we post. Don't be afraid, because look, this is how it works, is interaction. Interact with us, talk with us, because that makes it fun for us. Look, all these Facebook pages where people share and have millions of followers and all these podcasts, they did it through people that trusted them and had fun and, just wanted to just say whatever. So don't be afraid to leave comments on our Facebook page or leave comments on our YouTube or even share our podcast. That means a lot to us. But at the end of the day, Joey and I just enjoy doing this. It's fun for us because we get to vent our nerdiness. And also, if you guys can, just continue to check out our videos and stuff. And thanks for Joey. I know our schedules are very difficult, but thanks to Joey for trusting me and doing the interviews. I really appreciate that, man.
Hey, no problem, man. One thing I was going to add, and then I'll close it out for us.
Okay.
Do you want to hear a spoiler that you may not have seen? You may have too. I read this last night. Have you seen that Marvel has killed off a very major character in the Civil War II storyline?
I heard I heard a possibility of who it is. Is it?
Should we say it on live radio?
All right, so here it is. Go ahead. Cover your ears if you don't want to hear this.
It's a spoiler. Spoiler alert for Civil War II comic book readers.
Is it? Okay, this is it, guys. This is your chance. Now we're going to say it. Is it Hulk?
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Supposedly he has Bruce Banner's rid himself of the Hulk, but in fear of it coming back, he's given Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye, a special dart or arrow to kill him with. But then there's some clairvoyant who has a vision of the future and sees that the Hulk comes back and is like killing the Avengers. So he tells Clint Barton, the Hawkeye, and Hawkeye just goes in and kills Bruce Banner. That's what sparked Civil War II.
That's crazy. This is a pivotal time for comics. And I think right now, if they don't get their butts straight on, creativity and just quit doing stuff for shock value.
That's all this was. It's a jump in the shark moment.
I'm telling you right now, and 10, 15 years from now, I don't even think we'll have comics anymore. It's going to be just pure digital anyway. So if they don't get their butts in gear, man. And I hate this because I love comics.
I knew you would. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
I hate that.
I didn't have it written down, but then it just the thought.
That's
so
stupid. That is so
in 18
stupid.
months, they'll bring him back. When they start the timeline over.
Oh, and by the way, I've read Captain America #2. I bought 1 and 2 because I wanted to see what the big buzz about. Okay, so there is a catch to that. I'll let you borrow them too if you want to see them, because it's not like this whole time Steve Rogers has been working for Hydra. Obviously, you knew there was something that was going on, and I'm not even going to that. We'll talk about that next time. But
that's cool. All right, guys. Well, let's finish this thing up. Thank you guys so much for listening to us, and we, like Anthony said earlier, we really do appreciate our fans. I don't know how many we have sometimes. I know we got over 100 and something followers on our Facebook page.
Yeah, 106. It's went up.
And I'm a realist. I know you guys don't all listen to this, but hey, if we just have 5, 10, 15, even 1 or 2, it makes it worthwhile. We appreciate you guys for listening and hanging in there with us. Remember, we are always ready, like Anthony said, to interact with you guys on our Facebook page. So any questions or comments you might have, please let us know. Just post them on our page. We'll get back with you, man. We're on there every day. Also, don't forget to catch our brothers in pod over at Countdown to Geek Town. Those guys do a really great job.
Oh, yeah.
I admit I don't get to listen to them every week, but I try to at least catch every time I get a chance for, an hour or so. I try to sit there and listen to their stuff. I like what they do. They're pretty crazy sometimes, but they're good at what they do. They're talented.
Man, they do. They're naturally best friends, and it's really great to listen to them talk, and I always enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, they're super talented, and we really appreciate their support.
We can't stand each other.
I know we can't, but hey, for the money, we get along for an hour.
that's where it's not for the money.
And lastly, but not leastly at any means, Anthony will be doing several more interviews with some more amazingly talented people that he's gotten to know through the Indie.com channel or website where he's used to do his videos. And if you haven't caught any of the first 2, Jolene and John were really great. I got to listen to all of Jolene, and I've got to listen to about half of John's just because I've tried to listen to him at work. But John seems like a really interesting cat, and I'm going to go back and try to finish listening to all that. Even myself, I don't get to listen to them all the time, guys. But I mean, I do my best, so that's all we ask you to do.
Yep.
But go to the Nerdy Channel page on Facebook and watch them if you get a chance. Big thanks to those guys for spending just a little bit of their time. We know they're busy with us, and a big thanks again to Anthony for getting all that done. Anthony?
Yeah, man. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. I really enjoy doing it. Man, they don't realize how much that helps us out on our channel. It gives us some legitimacy. And it
gives us some street cred, baby.
Yeah. And the next few people that we got coming up with Jessica Kinney, Shannon Corbet, Tom Ayers, and possibly another one I'm going to be working on as well. But anyways, man, they're just really talented people, really nice enough to take the time out of their schedule, because these are people that are living in New York and LA that are actually busy people that are taking their time to do this.
They're working artists.
Yeah, these are actual working artists, and
going to auditions, reading scripts.
Yeah, it's so
painting
awesome.
Murals. I mean, whatever.
Yeah, and it's just really awesome that they take time to do this. And yeah, man, I've had a great time this week. Joey, you're doing a great job, man. Joey put together a good show this week, man. There's not a lot going on right now, and Joey did a good job this week. So good job, man.
Hey, thanks, man. Hey, next week we're going to have Patrick Stewart on, so make sure you come. No, I'm just messing with you guys.
Patrick Stewart.
Professor X is going to be here. Jean-Luc Picard.
And we'll go ahead and tell you, possibly Ian McKellen as well may swing by.
Little Gandalf action there, too. All right.
You shall not pass.
Anyway, guys, thank you again, and hey, stay nerdy.
Later, guys.